Hi everybody, it's Karen Trolfa here with Stampers Club. I'm so happy that you've joined me today. I'm excited to be able to show you like a really super quick card. If you're looking for something that you just need to pump out really fast, this is definitely the card. One image, yeah, perfectly done. It's super easy. And the stamp set, this stamp set's kind of like that too. Let me show you what we're going to be using today. So I have the Amazing Silhouette stamp set. And this just is like 3 images that are really bold and basic. And then it partners with the Amazing Thanks dies. And these dies are kind of fun. Let me show you in the catalog what they do. They're kind of like a 2-layer die. So you have the words, you are amazing, and then there's also thank you. But see how it's like two-tone? So this is actually the background image. Like this is the thanks. It's really bold. So it's just like a solid kind of like, it's meant to be the background. And then the thanks that is nice and thin is meant to layer up over the top of it so that you can have that two-tone color. These actually nest, the dies themselves nest. But you're going to cut 2 separate pieces, a darker and a lighter or vice versa, and then you have this high and low on here. But look at how simple these can be. So today I'm going to do a thank you card. And I know the word says thanks, but that's okay. We're going to fix it. So we're going to use the thanks, and we're going to use the you, and we're going to use I'm just using the thin lines, not the bold chunky stuff. And I'm going to use this image here. So let me set this out of my way. And let me show you if you want to stamp along, what supplies you're going to be needing. I have a half a sheet of mint macaron. It's 5.5 by 8.5. And then I have a piece of our perfectly penned designer paper. So it's plain on one side and flowery on the other. You can certainly use either side. It will look great. I'm going to use the floral side, and this is cut at 4 by 5.25. And then I have a piece of actually, this is just jade, not mint macaron. So it's just jade. And then I have a just jade piece of cardstock that is, I believe it's 3 1/8 and 4 7/8. And then I'm going to layer that with a piece of basic white, which is 3 by 4 3/4. And then just a scrap piece of just jade. So that's really basic, and I'm going to use a little bit of ribbon, but you know me, I always use ribbon. Not always, but most of the time. So we're going to do something really simple here. So first I'm just going to fold my card in half. You could certainly score yours at 4 1/4 if you just want to do a scoring instead of folding it. Get a little crease there with my bone folder. I'm going to mount this designer paper right onto it. This is one of them, like 3-minute cards. It's like super fast. I'd love to know what kind of cards you do that are really fast. What's your favorite stamp set to your go-to stamp set to make that happen? I would love to know that. Feel free to comment below with any of that. And then this is a Pale Papaya. And since this is such a large stamp, and this is such a large block, and I don't have the hand span to hold it, I use the ink pad upside down and just ink it that way. Typically, I would also lay the cardstock right on it, but I want to be able to center this a little bit. So it's going to be a 2-hander, and hopefully I'm vertical too, right? So I'm just going to kind of stamp that right in the middle. This fills up the whole card, the whole paper. It's a nice big image. Oh, I forgot to do something. Let's try that again. God gave us 2 sides of the paper for a reason, right? Although that does look just fine, just like that. But I'm going to ink it up. I was going to show you a quick little technique. And then I'm going to use mint macaron ink and just a sponge dauber. Get my left and right hands here. And I'm just going to get a little bit of ink on the very outside edge of the image. I'm just a little bit. I'm not doing very much. I actually am just barely touching the edge there. And I'll see if I can show it to you if it'll work if I get close to the camera. See how I just had this little bit of ink going on here. Now I'm going to huff on it like you would be cleaning your glasses just to get this ink a little bit re-moistened. Now we're going to stamp it right down. And you'll be able to see the difference here. We're going to go right in the middle. Voila. So as you can see, we have this little bit of an outline, not too much there. And then without the outline, you can see what I did. So this is without the outline and with the outline. So I just have this little bit of mint that goes around the outside edge. There's lint on here too. That's what I'm going to layer onto that other piece of Just Jade cardstock. So this is going to get mounted on. I just have an 1/8 inch border on this. It's not a large border. I wanted to show off the stamped image, highlight that a little bit more. So on this, I'm going to get some Just Jade and gold ribbon. And I'm going to put a bow around this. I always work off the bolt. I just find that easier because then if I decide, I don't waste as much ribbon if I need to just cut it or make it bigger. So the trick when you're doing bows is to keep everything flat. So as I go across my ribbon, or my card, I'm going flat. Everything's flat. So when I go around, I want to fold that down because I want it to follow that loop, okay? And then the same with this. I want everything to be nice and flat on my card. So I'm just going to do this 6 and 12 o'clock type thing here. Put my pinky down there, make my loop. I'm going to switch my fingers to the center so I can get this loop. And again, I want to make sure that it stays flat coming around. I'm not going to twist it. I want to make sure it stays flat. And then the same thing, I'm going to fold it this way so that everything stays in the same direction. The ribbon never gets folded over itself. And then pull that down. Put my finger in the middle, pull one tail. This helps your ribbon from again twisting. Switch hands, put my finger in the middle, and I'm going to pull this tail. And then I can tighten it back up. And if I still want it a little smaller, I could do the same thing again and tighten it back up. And then I want this in the middle, so I'm going to slide that around a little bit. When you have the ribbon fold over itself, and when you're tying bows, it gets very bulky in the middle, and then sometimes your bow will just you'll have this weird looking, the bows, the loops aren't in the same direction that you want them in. They won't lay nice and flat like that. All right, so this I'm going to put on some dimensionals. Right. And that looks really cool, just like that. But of course, I want to do that thank you. So I'm going to get my scrap piece of Just Jade cardstock, and I'm going to get my little mini machine out here. Put my base plate and a clear plate. I probably need to start flipping these plates a little bit. They're starting to bow up. So if you just keep flipping them over, they'll bow the other way. So I'm just going to do the thanks and the you. These out of the way. Let me get a piercing tool here because that machine cuts so good that the stuff stays stuck in the die. So we have the thanks and a you. But I want it to be thank you, not thanks you, because I want to use both of them. So I'm just going to get a pair of paper snips. And guess what we're going to do? Yep, we're getting rid of the plural. We're just going to cut off that S. Done. And I'm going to make that a little or straight, so it looks like it was never there to begin with. Grab my card, and then I'm going to use my favorite Tombow glue, my liquid green glue. I call it green. The glue is white, dries clear, but because it's in a green lid, we call it green glue, or I do anyway. I'm sure a lot of other people do too. And I'm just going to use a little bit. A dot is a lot on this. It doesn't take much. I'm just adding it in a couple of spots here. And I've been adding it to the whole thing because this stuff is super strong. And I'm going to just whoop, right across the front, think, and do the same thing with the U. Just a little bit. It doesn't need much. Dots a lot. U. Can you imagine being able to make a whole bunch of these if you had a whole bunch, like you had a little birthday party, a little cocktail party, wanted to tell everybody thanks for coming by? You could get a whole lot of these done really, really quickly, and you could use either side of that designer paper. And it's just a super fun, quick card. And I certainly want to thank you for joining me today and letting me share with you a really super quick, easy card. Feel free to make comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about it. Ideas for color combinations, those are always fun to know about. Feel free to pop on over to my Facebook group page at Stampers Club, or you can find more details about this card and many others on my website at stampersclub.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below either, because you definitely want to have notifications for more upcoming videos that I'll be doing. And you have a very nice stamp happy day. Bye now.